Good evening. It's April 24th, 2025, Thursday. It's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today, Mr. Jeckovich?
Very good, thank you.
You're looking well in your new clothes.
New clothes, huh?
Amber didn't come today to visit. She had some things she had to do.
Oh, yeah.
She still have that car problem, but she's thinking of you.
Yeah.
Your other nephews, and they came by the other day. They're driving back to New York. I think they're there by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was your dinner?
Good, very good.
Okay. We're interviewing and talking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich about his book that he wrote many years ago. And what's the book? How many pages?
849.
849. The book is titled Their Mother's Sons, and it takes Mr. Jeckovich from the time he's 11 years old. When his father died at 43, Mr. Jeckovich was the sole caregiver of his mother until she passed away at the age of 89. Mr. Jeckovich took care of his mother, her name was Anna Target Jeckovich, in a great manner. In fact, he made many sacrifices. One of them that comes to mind is that Mr. Jeckovich, you didn't enlist in the Army during World War II. How come?
Well, I take care of my mother.
So Mr. Jeckovich's two brothers enlisted in the Army during World War II.
Coast Guard.
Yeah, and if you enlist, you get a much better position. For example, his older brother enlisted, and he never left the United States. He just simply taught people how to drive Jeeps.
Yeah.
Was your brother that was a teacher of driving Jeeps? Was he a good driver?
No, he's the one that ran into the fire hydrant.
Yeah, well, there you go. So the question is, and your other brother enlisted, got a cushy job in the Coast Guard. But if you wait to get drafted, and the reason why Mr. Jeckovich waited to get drafted was so he'd have more time to spend with his mother.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And when you get drafted during World War II, you're going on the front lines. You're going in infantry. Correct?
Right.
Mr. Jeckovich was in many battles during World War II. He was a front man on the infantry line in the Battle of the Bulge and many other wars. Mr. Jeckovich during World War II was shot in the shoulder by a sniper, beat up, stabbed, bombed. He was bombed with a dirty bomb. And what's a dirty bomb?
Put all nuts and bolts and razors.
Yeah. The Nazis made dirty bombs. They would put nuts, bolts, razors, old tools, old piece of metal, so it does the most damage when it hits the American soldiers.
Yeah.
In fact, Mr. Jeckovich in his leg right now still has shrapnel from that dirty bomb, correct?
Yeah.
What happens when you try to go through the airport? Does the alarms go off? Because
They go up, I got a slip to show them what I got.
With that dirty bomb, it causes so much destruction for a large area. One of his best friends was also a teenager, and his name was Donald Lape. Donald Lape was helping Mr. Jeckovich work the heavy-duty machine guns, right?
Yeah.
The heavy-duty machine guns is just not one-man show. You have the first couple people with the ammo.
Deliver ammunition back and forth, and somebody
Carry the
you got to
tripod.
move it all the time too.
It's constant moving. You got to carry the tripod, which is 150 pounds. Heavy-duty machine gun. It's a whole small squad that handles these heavy-duty machine guns.
Yeah.
And one important factor you must remember with these heavy-duty machine guns, they had to be water-cooled, right?
Yeah.
They were water-cooled to cool off the barrel, right?
Yeah.
What happens if you touch the barrel?
Well, you burn your hand off.
Right down to the bone.
Yeah.
Well, that shrapnel Mr. Jeckovich still on his leg now came from that dirty bomb, and the dirty bomb goes further. His buddy Donald Lape was also a teenager. They're always inexperienced in fighting. These guys never had a gun before in their life. They never knew violence before in their life, and now the snows in Belgium are all painted red with blood. Donald Lape had his whole head blown off right next to his partner, right next to helping him with a machine gun. And the only thing was hanging on Donald Lape's ear was his glasses. That was it.
Yeah.
You removed his glasses, took one dog tag number, and wrote a beautiful letter to Donald Lape's mother and father, right? right?
Tell them what happened, yeah.
Yeah. An ironic fact of this, Donald Lape left this earth at 18 or 19, fighting for his country. But ironically, Mr. Jeckovich's home right here in Ormond Beach, we didn't know this until it was too late, but Donald Lape's younger brother, which was too young for World War II, when he retired, he moved only 2 blocks away from Mr. Jeckovich's house for 25 years. That would have been nice to know. They would have got along and discussed this, Donald Lape, but they didn't know that until it was too late. It was too late. So during World War II, you were beat up, shot up, stabbed, bombed.
Lost a hip.
Lost a hip. And it was only by the grace and the rosary praying by his mother, which is a devout Roman Catholic. She prayed a rosary for Mr. Jeckovich daily, that he'd come out at least alive.
Yeah.
He came out alive, and also the prayers of Renee, who was a Roman Catholic nun who was in Paris, and she made many prayers for Mr. Jeckovich just to come out alive.
Yeah.
You don't have to come out unscathed, just to come out alive. Because Mr. Jeckovich, when he joined the service, when he was drafted, and they were just young kids. And what was that code for young kids?
33.
33 means teenagers.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, teenagers are great fighters compared to a 25-year-old, right?
Yeah.
The stamina is completely
Yeah,
different.
they don't have it.
They don't have it anymore.
No.
Even at 25, it sounds foolish to say, but not compared to a teenager. So they were affectionately called the Diaper Division.
Yeah.
The Diaper Division, and they said that affectionately, not to be sarcastic or derogatory,
Yeah.
because they were so young. They were young kids with no life experiences, just out of high school, or taken from high school. But when Mr. Jeckovich and his division, or his troops, had to hold Bastogne, because the Nazis did a surprise invasion of 600,000 Nazi soldiers and 6,000 tanks. This was completely unprecedented, that Hitler was so whacked out of his mind, this is his last shot to kill lots of Americans and destroy the land.
Yeah.
So last shot, this took place in the Ardennes Forest, which was very, very difficult for any type of combat to go there because the trees are so close together.
Yeah, he couldn't get a tank in there.
Couldn't get tanks in there. And what happened was, Hitler at this time was so whacked out of his mind, he sent 600,000 soldiers, Nazis, to fight or destroy what was in that Ardennes Forest. Mr. Jeckovich happened to be there. And 6,000 tanks. And by the way, that was the coldest winter of record.
Yeah.
You have frostbite.
Yeah, still got it, yeah.
You still suffer from it, right?
Yeah.
Did you have the proper clothing?
No. Well, we got it later, though.
Later's long time out, but how about the coldest winter? Where did all that heavy clothing go?
The rear echelon.
Rear echelon. And the rear echelon never was up in front lines.
No.
Yeah.
They were all heated barracks.
Still going on today. So anyways, the Battle of Bulge was one of the final battles of World War II on the European theater. And Mr. Jeckovich and his troops were stuck in Bastogne, and they had orders not to let the Germans take over Bastogne. Don't let it, no way, it could be detrimental to the war. So there was 97% casualties in Mr. Jeckovich's troop in Bastogne. He was a 3% that left, and they couldn't get any support at the time because the weather was so bad. The planes couldn't fly, paratroopers couldn't come to help, so they were stuck there. 97% casualties, 97%, 3%, and one of them was Mr. Jeckovich. And they held Bastogne until the air support came and the paratroopers came, and then they kind of ran the Nazis back into a hole. But an interesting thing, so he initially came in and he was titled as the Diaper Division, and now since they held Bastogne in such a way, as I said, 97% casualties, now they were called a different name. They were called the Bloody Bastards of Bastogne because they held it. They held it tight. And without holding Bastogne, the war might not have had the same outcome right away. It would have eventually. but not right of a way. Before you got to Bastogne, I heard you had a run-in with General Patton. How did that go?
Well, Pat has caught sleeping in the barn
What time?
at 3 o'clock in the morning, raining out.
Yeah, and what did he say?
He said, get your ass out, get to the next checkpoint, and go now, go.
Yeah. Was that the last run-in you had with Patton?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Battle of the Bulge is basically the last one on the European theater. And then from there, Mr. Jeckovich and a lot of renewed troops went and they released with the bolt cutters the prisoners of war. And they were in really bad shape. And what was your orders not to do?
Don't feed them. Don't feed them.
Why not?
Don't feed them.
Why not?
Their system was all upset.
Yeah. Their systems, they were like 60, 70, 80
Yeah,
pounds.
they lost a lot of weight.
Were formerly 220, 240 pound big men, but you know, they just let them, the Nazis let them starve. They treated them so horribly
Yeah.
in those concentration camps. You wouldn't want to see that horror. You wouldn't want to see that horror. So they released them, and then after that, this,
18 minutes.
the soldiers were worried that they would be, soldiers were worried that they would go to the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the European theater was down, and now the soldiers were worried that they'd be sent to the Pacific.
Yeah.
Were you worried? Did you want to go to the Pacific?
No, I don't want to go to the Pacific at all.
There was one person that wanted to go to the Pacific. Who was that?
Patton.
Yeah. He wanted to go to the Pacific. He didn't want to stop.
Well, he's always fighting with Pat Eisenhower. He wanted to outdo Eisenhower.
He didn't want to stop. And ironically, he didn't get to the Pacific because he got in an automobile accident not related to the military, and he actually died of his wounds. And an interesting fact was, have you ever seen Patton in actual real pictures of him, not in the movies? He looks like 80-some years old, and he was only in his 50s.
That's what war
He was only in his 50s.
Yeah.
He was only in his 50s. He looks 30 years older.
Yeah.
So, we're going to start on your book. And your book, you tell me, is 849 pages, right? We're on the second time around. We have 400 podcasts in here, 400 recordings with YouTube about it. And the book is like the mother's son. That's taking care of your mother because your father died when you were 11 years old.
Yeah, 3 years old.
Yeah. His father's name was Marion Jeckovich. He was a legal immigrant from Russia. He went through Ellis Island.
Yeah, got all papers, yeah.
The proper way. And then he was working 3 different jobs to give this man and his family a better life than he had.
Yeah.
Giving this man and his family a better life than he had. He was basically worked as a slave.
Yeah.
He died rolling cement, putting a sidewalk.
Had a heart attack.
Heart attack.
Yeah.
So how did that go? How were you notified at 11 years old your father was dead?
Well, the police called in the house at 8 o'clock at night, said your father got hurt, we could take him down to the hospital.
So the police came to your house at night,
Yeah.
and they drove you to the hospital.
Yeah.
And they said your father got hurt, and
Yeah.
that was it. And did you sit in the front or back seat of the police car?
The back.
Back seat. And then when you got to the hospital, did they escort you in? Did they escort you in the hospital, or did they just drop you off?
No, they just dropped me off.
Okay, they dropped you off, an 11-year-old boy, at night at a hospital, and then you walked to the front desk, and what happened then?
I said, can you tell me where my father is? He said, well, we'll take you down there.
Well, you thought you were going up
I was going up, yeah.
to see he might have broke his arm,
Yeah.
hurt his ankle,
They go down to the morgue.
and then what did you think then?
Well, I think something's happened now.
Yeah, so you're going downstairs to the morgue.
Yeah.
And when this 11-year-old boy got into the morgue, what happened?
They showed me where my father was. His eyes were closed. He had cement on his pants a little bit and some on his face and that.
Did he ask you to identify the body?
Yeah, to go through his pockets.
Oh, they asked you to go through his pockets. What did you find in his
Well,
pocket?
that Prince Albert can of the tobacco and his papers, they rolled it up in a couple of keys.
What else did you find? Change? Change?
And what?
Change?
change before he found a couple quarters in his pocket.
see.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wasn't invited.
Change?
yeah.
Is Jen here?
People
Yeah, I'm
around
here.
here.
Okay. So then you had to go back home. How'd you get home? You were only 11, you couldn't drive. How'd you get home?
The cop told me back.
He took you back?
Yeah,
Okay. See, things were different back then, over 100 years ago. Like Mr. Jeckovich's father, they immigrated legally through Ellis Island. They did the right things. They came here to work, not to work the system like these illegal aliens or immigrants are doing today. Today they're working the system. His father came to work, to make things better in the country. And you don't speak with an accent, how come?
well, we talked English. My father said we could talk English, we're not talking Russian or Polish.
So at home you got
talking
a strict
English.
rule,
Yeah,
a strict rule,
yeah,
only English.
only English.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division during the U.S. Army, in the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Right?
Yeah,
Today is a gift. This book you wrote, you know, I get hundreds of text messages every week with questions. Oh, and by the way, there were 16,400,000 young men and women participating happily during World War II. Now, we have less than 6,000 combat veterans left. 6,000
Yeah.
of these guys left, combat infantrymen left, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. So do the math.
and through old age of that, yeah.
Time's up. Time's getting up. So if you have any questions for Mr. Jeckovich, simply text him at 407-366-0000. Any questions, no matter what they are, Mr. Jeckovich has been answering the text messages for a year and a half.
Yeah,
407-366-0000. You have many questions that always come in, but one of them is, where can I buy the book and how much is it?
not for sale.
The book has never been for sale or never will be for
No,
sale.
no.
It's not about money. Mr. Jeckovich has plenty of money, doesn't need money. The book is to tell the younger generation how to have an easier life, a little
Yeah,
better
yeah,
life.
Yeah,
And so Mr. Jeckovich's mind is like a library. Text him any question and he will answer all. He'll answer all questions. Minutes, please.
11.
See, Mr. Jeckovich's book is nothing but a roadmap. It has never been written all these 849 pages to make a dime. No one wants money. It has nothing to do with it. He has one book that is in the World War II Museum in New Orleans. It's in there, but all the rest of the book he's got in his private collection.
yeah,
And by the way, at the World War II Museum, we're in the process of making an AI person, Mr. Jeckovich, an AI. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, you'll have this man looking just like this, the same mannerisms, the same facial features, the same body structure, being in the museum 100% under AI. You ask him a question, he'll talk like now. But there's nothing better than talking to the live person. And that's in the process of being done.
yeah.
It's about a month away. But the book is primarily about learning lessons and teaching people to have a better life.
yeah.
Because when Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, during the Great Depression, did that bother you?
No, I was young,
In 2025, Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100.
Yeah,
Back then, when Mr. Jeckovich was born, gasoline was 7 cents a gallon. You would fill up your car for $1.25. Houses were $2,000 or $3,000 for a nice house. Brand new cars were $500. Yeah, brand new cars were $500. Things were different then, and what basically took place then is the husband did all the breadwinning, did all the work, and the wife did a beautiful job maintaining the family.
Yeah.
It was a nice mix, right?
Yeah.
It was a nice mix. And so the book is simply about giving examples on how to have a better life. And some of them, here's a note Mr. Jeckovich wrote, and it's to his grandchildren and great-grandchild. Oh, by the way, Mr. Jeckovich just yesterday became a great-great-grandfather.
Wow.
His grandson just had a little baby girl. Zachary Logan Jeckovich just had a baby girl. So now you're great-great-grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the things that we learn in the book is like teaching families to have a better life. And some of the notes are this. This is Mr. Jeckovich's words. I really like, you're speaking about his grandkids, I really like them to know about hand-me-down clothes and homemade ice cream and leftover meatloaf sandwiches. I really would. I hope they learn humility by being humiliated, and they learn honesty by being cheated. I hope you learn to make your own bed, mow the lawn, and wash your car. And here's a very important spot. Don't let the parents ruin this kid. And I really hope no one gives you a brand new car at 16. Don't do it. It's just counterproductive. It'll be good if at least one time you can see puppies being born and your old dog put to sleep.
8 minutes.
I hope you get a black eye fighting. In fact, I hope you get 2 black eyes fighting for something you believe in. If you share a bedroom with your younger brother, and it's all right to draw a line down the middle of the room, but when he wants to crawl under the covers with you because he's scared, I hope you let him. When you want to see a movie and your little brother wants to tag along, I hope you let him come. I hope you have to walk uphill to school with your friends and that you live in a town where you could do it safely. Tell you about a school. When you walked to school, you were going to 2 high schools. Tell us how that went.
I went, but from my house to grad school was 5 miles. And then I stayed there half a day and then went to trot.
So you're going to 2 high schools simultaneously.
One was the high school, was a vocational school.
And how many miles was it to trot?
Total, probably 10 miles a day.
And after you left trot, where did you go home?
No, I went to Kresge's.
And what did you do at Kresge's?
I was a sock boy there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to keep working. On rainy days, when you have to catch a ride, I hope you don't ask your mom to drop you 2 blocks away so you won't be seen riding with someone so uncool as your mom. If you want a slingshot, I hope your dad teaches you how to make one instead of buying one. Another very important fact, I hope we learn to dig in the dirt and read books.
Yeah.
What was your experience when you were a little boy reading books?
Sorry, say again?
What was your experience as a little boy reading books?
Well, I had to hide the books.
Why'd you have to hide the books?
Well, my mother said I was spending too much money on books.
You weren't even a teenager,
Yeah.
and how'd you get these books delivered to you?
But by mail.
Were you in a book
Book of the Month Club. Book of the Month
And
Club.
so you had to beat the mailbox before your mother got there.
Yeah, put them underneath the bed.
God, amazing. And wouldn't mothers today just love to have their kids reading books?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they just love to have their kids
Yeah.
reading books? Here's another important part. I hope when you learn to use computers, I hope you also learn how to add and subtract in your head. Many people don't do nothing in their heads anymore.
Yeah.
Can't remember telephone numbers, subtracting. Everything's done with a stupid phone. They hope that, they learn to subtract and add in their head. I hope you get teased by your friends when you have your first crush on a girl, and when you talk back to your mother, that you learn what ivory soap tastes like. May you skin your knee climbing a mountain, burn your hand on a stove, and stick your tongue on a frozen flagpole. Here's another very important part, very, very important. I don't care if you try a beer once, but I hope you don't like it. And if friends offer you dope or a joint, I hope you realize that he is not your friend.
Yeah.
Very important, he is not your friend. I sure hope you make a time to sit on the porch with Grandma and Grandpa and go fishing with your uncle. May you feel great sorrow at a funeral and a joy during the holidays. I hope your mother punishes you when you throw a baseball through your neighbor's window, and that she hugs and kisses you at Christmas time when you give her a plaster mold of your hand. These are the things I wish for you. Tough times and disappointments, hard work and happiness. To me, it is the only way to appreciate life.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
That's what the sum up the whole book is about. And learning, you got to be tough. You got to be tough. A lot of these kids are growing up and not tough, and they won't make it. Because there's been wars from the beginning of times. There'll be wars for the end of time.
Yeah.
They got to be tough. Unfortunately, they have to be tough. Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich, do you feel like answering any questions? We have a few text messages I got recorded in the book.
Go ahead.
Mr. Jeckovich, was your mother Anna Targus Jeckovich, did she remarry after your father died in 43?
No, she never did, no.
Never did.
No.
Was your mother a devout Roman Catholic?
Yes.
Yeah, and what church did she go to?
Holy Rosary and St. Both with the Holy Rosary.
Did you have any brothers and sisters?
They had 3 brothers and a sister.
Did any of them take care of your mother?
Well, yeah, we all lived to help my mother, yeah.
Did your older brother move to California?
Yeah, he moved to California.
Oh, no, he did
He's
that.
out of the picture, yeah.
3 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's interesting. Mr. Jeckovich, you said you worked for 35 years at Kimberly-Clark. How did you get to work every day?
Walked.
How about during a snowstorm?
Walked.
Rainstorm?
Walked.
Did you ever miss a day?
No.
We get millions of questions about your longevity. You never took a prescription in your life. You never took a vitamin. And you jogged for 80 years, right?
Yeah.
When you first started jogging many years ago, many decades ago, what did people say to you?
Get off the street, you bum.
Get off the street, you bum.
Yeah.
They throw things at you? They threw things at you?
Yeah.
So when Mr. Jeckovich started jogging over 80 years ago, it wasn't acceptable. It wasn't fashionable. They thought Mr. Jeckovich was running on the streets because he couldn't afford an automobile. So they would say, get off the street, you bum.
Yeah.
And they would throw empty cans of beer at him. One time they hit him in the head with a full can of Campbell's soup. And they were very angry with someone running on the street.
Yeah.
Now today you look at every corner, everyone's jogging, right?
Oh, yeah.
What got you started when no one else was jogging 80 years ago?
I read a book on Johnson's running.
What was that about?
He recommended running.
That must have been a damn good book because you followed it for 80 years.
Yeah.
Did you look into that because your dad died at 43?
Say what?
Is one of the reasons you looked into that because your dad died at 43?
The genes are good. I got good genes.
Yeah. Minutes?
A minute.
What's a minute? So you jogged for 80 years, never took a prescription, never took a vitamin. And, a lot of questions about marriage. We don't have time to answer it now. But how long were you married for?
69 years.
69 years.
Wow.
Mr. Jeckovich proposed to Delphine Stulak in a Roman Catholic Basilica in Tonawanda, New York. She accepted. They went to the altar of the Basilica. They said a prayer for a long and happy marriage. How'd that prayer work out?
69 years ago, man.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Vince?
35.
It worked out, didn't it?
Yeah.
What do you suggest to someone that wants to get married today? What would you recommend them?
Be sure who you get married to. Know the person well.
Because the honeymoon's over with quickly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 90,000 divorces in Florida last year.
Yeah.
What was the main reason?
Money.
That's it.
Money.
There was controversy on money.
10 seconds.
So 90,000.
Yeah.
What do you want to do now, John?
Huh?
Got another one in the books. There you
Okay,
go.
okay.
Time is up.